Having been a teacher, I love guiding my students to enhance their skills, explore their passions, and unleash their creativity. Little did I know, I was actually helping them to lay the groundwork for their own unique paths. That's why I launched this podcast to assist you in doing the same. Marketing your niche, it's all about discovering your niche, taking action before you are ready, focusing on consistent progress, and move ahead to building a profitable online business, even if you are not sure you are doing it right. Tune in for practical advice, actionable marketing tips, and strategies to build a business that brings you more freedom, more profit, even more joy. Let's get started. Hey there, I'm Lydia Bremer and welcome to the very first episode of Marketing Your Niche podcast. A big thank you to those who inspire me to get this podcast off the ground. Thank you for taking the time to listen. As some of you know, I am focused on marketing the online businesses and on the strategies that will help marketing your niche. This podcast is dedicated to guiding you on your journey of discovering, cultivating, and at last achieving success within your niche market. I am thrilled to embark on this journey with you as we explore the details of finding your niche and unlocking your full potential. In today's episode of Marketing Your Niche podcast, we'll lay the groundwork for your journey and discussing the main goal of this podcast: to empower you with the knowledge, strategies, and tools needed to identify your niche, develop your skills, and at last achieve your goals. But first of all, let me start by saying that the concept of niche is fundamental to success in today's competitive business market. Your niche represents the intersections of your passions, expertise, and the needs of the specific audience or market segment. By finding and improving your niche, you position yourself for greater visibility, impact, and success. How do you go about finding your niche? It's a question that many aspiring entrepreneurs, freelancers, and professionals struggle with. I will teach you a 3-step process that will help you find your niche. The first step of the process begins with self-reflection and introspection. Take the time to explore your interests, strengths, and unique talents. What topics or industries excite you? Where do your skills and passions intersect? By understanding yourself on a deeper level, you will uncover clues that point you towards your niche. So take your time, my friend, to introspect and identify your passions, strengths, and areas of expertise. Reflect on your unique skills, experience, and strengths that will set you apart from others, and consider what activities or topics you enjoy and excel in, as well as the problems you are passionate about solving. And I want to dive into a few stories that led my path to this podcast and ultimately to start my online business. As back in the days I was a teacher, I taught geography, by the way, for a few years. I was so excited to give my students homeworks that would later inspire them to find more attractive topics they were interested to learn or read about. In this journey with them, I was paying attention to how organized they are, how excited they are when they talk or present their homeworks or their topics, and I noticed what lit them up. Whether it was coloring, organizing their presentation, searching up for topics they were interested in, the main takeaway was that by doing the work, trying different topics and tasks on their homeworks, they discover what they liked most, what lit them up, and ultimately they decided what they want to do in life. So many times I heard from them, "Oh, I didn't know that I like doing this or that," or "I didn't know that I am so good at making presentations about traveling or organizing trips to different places. Thank you for teaching me that." Moreover, I heard, "Thank you for showing me the path." This was a huge achievement for me as a teacher back then, but was actually a good starting point for me to develop strategies for other people who didn't know themselves, who were afraid of trying things out, or didn't know where to start in putting their passions, strengths, and expertise at work. To extrapolate this strategy, I want to tell you that my students started their journey of knowing the self from scratch. They started by doing their work in their journey. This is what I want you to do. I want you to take a piece of paper and split it in half. On the left side of the paper, write down as many details as possible, all the topics that you are excited to do, talk about, or write about. On the right side of the paper, write down the skills you have in relation to the topics written on the left side of the paper. For example, if you like dogs or find yourself talking with your friends a lot about dogs, on how you train your dog to sit, for example, and how you reinforce a good behavior in your dog, then this is something you might want to write down on the left side of the paper. The corresponding skill you want to write down on the right side of the paper is your ability to teach animals how to do something, and if you want to extrapolate that to people, your ability to coordinate and organize activities. Another example, if you are cleaning and tie up your house every day in a very effective, time-efficient way, then write this down on the left side of the paper. The corresponding skill will be that you are very good in organizing, finding shortcuts, and getting things done in the most effective way possible. If you are spending a lot of time outside gardening, or find yourself talking with your friends and family about garden, or you are searching up things on the internet about gardening, then write this down on the left side of the paper. On the right side, write the corresponding skill, which is landscaping design, ability to provide advice to customers on how they could redesign their backyard or to solve some of their problems related to pruning, watering of plants, planting seeds, and so on. Try to write down as many topics you are interested in and as many skills you have in relation to your topics. Once you look at the paper, do you realize what you just did? You actually identified your niche or niches. You discover your areas of interest, expertise, and your unique skills that will help you shape your niche. You just completed the first step in the process. The second step is to do a market research to identify and analyze the needs, preferences, trends, and opportunities that are out there related to your niche. Look at the underserved or overlooked segments within your chosen market where you could provide unique value. Search up different people that develop the same niche as yours and see how they've developed their own market and their own economy. It is important to have a role model in your journey and learn from the people who already completed the process you already started, who already have a design market or audience. One thing that I learned from this year since I started my journey is to learn from other people's mistakes, but do not beat yourself up if you make your own. It is a learning curve for everyone. The third step in the process of unveiling your niche is to validate your niche and set up your goals. Take your potential niche by validating your ideas through surveys, discussions, or focus groups. I'm telling you a story of an entrepreneur who started his business by asking a simple question on a focus group on Instagram. He was saying, quote, "I'm thinking to create a webinar where I could teach people on how they could sell their house within a minimum DIY. Will somebody be interested to attend? If you do," he said, "send me a DM." Do you know, my friend, how many people sent him DMs? 246 people. A few weeks down the road, he repeated the same procedure and asked a focus group on Instagram. He was saying, "I am thinking to organize a webinar about redesigning your house for a quick sale with the existing furniture you have in the house. Will somebody be interested to attending this webinar? Send me a DM," he said. Do you know, my friend, how many people enrolled? 342. Isn't that amazing? This is how this aspiring entrepreneur validated his idea of business and offered a pilot service to gather interest. Once you validate your ideas and your niche, it is time to determine what are you trying to achieve. You have to know where do you start and where do you want to go or be in the near future. How do you progress from point A to point B? Achieving your goals within your niche requires persistence, determination, and a strategic approach. Set clear, actionable goals that align with your long-term vision and break them down into manageable steps. Stay focused on your priorities, prioritize tasks that you move you closer to your objectives, and don't be afraid to pivot or adjust your strategy as needed. Throughout this podcast, we will explore deeper into these topics and more, providing practical insights, real-world examples, and actionable advice to help you navigate the complexities of marketing within your niche. Whether you are a seasoned entrepreneur or just starting out on your journey, Marketing Your Niche podcast is here to support you every step of the way. Thank you for joining me on this inaugural episode of Marketing Your Niche podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast for future episodes where we will dive deeper into the strategies and tactics for success within your niche market. Thank you for joining me on this first episode of Marketing Your Niche podcast. This podcast will be held twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I will meet you next week, same time, same place. Bye for now.